This video is sponsored by PotownStore.com, the place for all your Pokemon TCG online needs. Looking for some Rebel Clash boosters? No problem, they got your back and deliver the codes instantly. So definitely check them out at PotownStore.com and use the coupon code ZapdosTCG for 5% of your next order. Also, if you're from Europe, be sure to check out CardMarket.com. This is the best place for you to get physical cards. You can buy cards from people all across Europe as well as sell cards yourself. It's the best platform for buying and selling physical cards in Europe, and I personally use it every single day. So be sure to check out the website if you haven't already, CardMarket.com. What's up YouTube, it's ZapdosTCG here and welcome back to another TCG deck profile video on my channel. We're still exploring some new decks from Darkness Ablaze, the set that actually shakes up the format quite a bit with new VMAXs in the form of Eternatus VMAX, Centiskor's VMAX, but this is something different. Remember SEISMITOAD EX and the Quaking Punch with the item lock? It's back! We have Vikavolt here. This is an amazing Pokemon with a paralysis, or actually paralyzing bolt. We smack 50 damage for a lightning and a colorless energy, and then the opponent cannot play any items during their next turn, which is busted. A lot of cards like Quick Ball, you cannot use that. You cannot use things like Rare Candy. You cannot equip tool cards. All the items are simply blocked, which is just so busted. Also, considering the fact we have boss orders in the format, so sometimes you can leave something stuck in the active because they cannot rely on scoop up nets, and they can also not rely on switch cards, which is so fantastic. So also Vikavolt V has the other attack here, Super Zap Cannon, being able to smack 190 damage. So early game we poke with 50 damage, and then in the late game we slap 190 to just one-shot something to take prize cards. So the main attack, Paralyzing Bolt, is going to be fantastic. I know this deck was very popular in Japan when it first came out there, but they then had Electro Power and Thunder Mountain. I don't know if the loss of those two cards is going to be a big deal. Instead of going so way aggressively, we are going with Galarian Zigzagoon for extra damage output with of course the Headbutt Tantrum, and we also are going to rely on some disruption in the form of Crushing Hammer, which is going to be fantastic. And also Giant Bomb. The good news about Giant Bomb is that the opponent cannot use Tool Scrapper to get rid of the Giant Bomb, so either they don't one-shot or they get smacked with 100 damage onto themselves, and that's going to help us out. For instance, we use Paralyzing Bolt, 50 damage, and then yeah, either the opponent wants to go for a huge attack. Certain Pokemon also cannot hit lower than a certain number, like let's say Zacian. But Zacian is going to have it hard without Metal Saucers and all. They will need to hit their Intrepid Swords. We'll see which decks are the best in the format when tournaments start off with Darkness Ablaze. We are here with post-rotation content. If you're enjoying the content, yeah, be sure to let me know by destroying that like button. This is yeah, a very nasty deck to play against because with the use of item cards, no reset stamps, no tool cards, no switching outs, no quick balls, no rare candy. So even though we showcased the CGI earlier on the channel, the good thing is that we can actually stop the opponent from playing rare candy. So if they play a low amount of Dartrix, then the Tapu Koko Prism Star can go through the Dartrix, and then you hopefully can get the item block back once again. We'll see how this turns out. It's still a difficult matchup to say the least, but with the Crushing Hammers and all that, it does help out. So our main attack, Vikavolt, being able to use Paralyzing Bolt to item block the opponent. Then we have Jirachi, still as good as ever. We have the heavy amount of switch cards as well as the scoop up nets, which means we can just safely rely on Stellar Wish. We don't have a skateboard to just rely on, but we don't even need it with so many scoop up nets. Scoop up net also provides us with lots of utility Pokemon, which we're going to talk about very shortly. Tapu Koko Prism Star, accelerating that lightning energy. We're still running 8 copies of the basic lightning energy just because we can accelerate with Dance of the Ancients. The good thing is that you can accelerate to 2 Pokemon, so you can set up 2 Vikavolt Vs at once, which is the ideal thing, and afterwards you can just use Paralyzing Bolt. There's also a Wondrous Labyrinth in here. If you just have the energy acceleration of Dance of the Ancients and then an attach of the turn, you can then use the item lock first, and then the turn after that, if the opponent yeah, doesn't have anything better to do, sometimes their Jirachi will be stuck because They cannot use Scoop Up Net or Switch, so it will be stuck for 1 turn. You're gonna try and get rid of the opponent's energy with Crushing Hammers and all of that. And then we can attach an extra energy, so that means we can rely on Wondrous Labyrinth. So Wondrous Labyrinth with Team Yell Grunt, with Crushing Hammer, with the Giratina Dimension Breach will be very, very disruptive. Also with the knowledge here that a lot of decks will be relying on special energy cards. We've seen that almost all top tier decks after the rotation will be using special energy cards. So that Giratina, which we're going to talk about soon, is going to be very, very fantastic. We have 1 copy of the Dedenne GX. Sometimes your opening hand just sucks and Jirachi doesn't find a supporter. That means you can still use Quick Ball to find the Dedenne in those niche situations. The good news is that Great Catcher no longer works under item lock, so the only thing that can take down a Dedenne is like Boss's Orders on the Dedenne or using cards like Cramorant V. We're also running Galarian Zigzagoon as mentioned for those extra damage ticks. We don't have Electro Power to buff up our damage. You can rely on the Vitality Band for that extra damage because Vitality Band with Zigzagoon knocks out a Jirachi, but I'm a bigger fan of playing it more defensively with Giant Bomb because we're gonna need that extra damage output. Giant Bomb actually means lots of Electro Powers that you don't need because the opponent hits into you with a lot of damage. If they do that, sometimes we get knocked out, but the good news is that we can then come with a second Vikavolt, get some damage on and get rid of the opponent instantly, which is going to be fantastic. We also have the Dimension Breach Giratina. As mentioned, you can get rid of special energies on the opponent's active if you slap it down. You can even loop it with Scoop Up Net to get rid of multiple amounts of energies, which is going to help out. Definitely if Eternatus VMAX relies on the captured energy or the hidden darkness energy. It's the special energy which provides pre-retreat. We also have Mewtwo here. Because it can use that Mind Report ability, very fantastic ability to reuse your supporters. Things I'm thinking about is like a well-played Marnie or Boss Orders or Team Yell Grunt. Very huge fan of Yell Grunt because with the item lock it's huge. Absol, make sure that basic Pokemon have to pay 1 extra card's energy to retreat, and that is going to help out a ton. The reasoning for that is that sometimes they want to manually retreat because they're stuck with cards like Switch and Scoop Up Net. Sometimes they attach to their Jirachi and they want to retreat. Well, that's not going to work if Absol is in play. For supporters, I chose to go for 4 research. The previous builds had like a Guzma Hala package, but I don't think it's gonna be Guzma Hala is the way to go because we don't have Thunder Mountain anymore. So I think heavy research is very, very good. Definitely if you're running 8 physical copies of the Lightning Energy, the more there are in the discard pile, the better, because either you can get them back with Dance of the Ancients, Tapu, Koko, Prism Star, or you can use the new item card Turbo Patch, which we're gonna talk about very, very shortly. Also, Marnie, very good. Putting the opponent to a low hand size while putting them in an item lock is very busted. I also love to put in a second copy of Reset Stamp, but couldn't find the room for it. Maybe you guys can scratch one of these cards. Next up is the Erika's Hospitality, very great against the Eternatus VMAX matchup, or also decks that rely on lots of bench space. You're gonna be drawing lots of cards, and in combination with Stellar Wish, you're gonna see tons and tons of cards, which is awesome. Only 2 copies of Boss's Orders. I would love to have a third copy in here, trust me, because using Boss's Orders while having the item lock is game changing. But since we have Mind Report, Mewtwo, and the Scoop Up Nets, I thought, yeah, we can cut down to 2 Boss's Orders because we can reuse them if we need to at a specific point in the game by using Mind Report. Team Yell Grunt, same effect, only 1 copy, but as mentioned, you can get a huge turn combo where you use the Team Yell Grunt to put an energy from the opponent back into their hand. You can use Dimension Breach Giratina to get rid of a special energy, and you can even use Crushing Hammer. So at one point you could be getting rid of 3 energies while Wondrous Labyrinth could be in play, and you item lock. Insane combo if you can get it off. Definitely against a lot of matchups that require on physical attachments without energy acceleration. We also have 4 Quick Ball, of course in every deck to search out our Pokemon. 4 Turbo Patch, which accelerates a basic energy from the discard pile to one of your basic Pokemon. So except for GXs, so you cannot use it to accelerate to the Dedenne, but you don't do that anyhow. So you just want to get energies onto your Vikavolt, which is gonna help out. That's why I do love the fact that Turbo Patch and Tapu Koko Prism Star work together to get energies onto Vikavolt V. And if you get more energies than required, then Wondrous Labyrinth will be MVP, mark my words. Next up, Crushing Hammers. Without the use of Electro Power, I think Crushing Hammers is very nice, slowing the opponent down so we can have enough room and space so we can item lock while getting lots and lots of damage afterwards. So you just poke a little bit with Paralyzing Bolt, and then when you're ready, get that Super Zap Cannon ready and just knock something out. Get that Giant Bomb equipped as well at one point, which is also going to help out with numbers, and you're going to be good. Then switching cards, 4 switches and 4 scoop up nets will definitely help out to get Jirachi out of the active position, but scoop up net is also good to get reuse those fantastic abilities in the form of Zigzagoon, Giratina, or Mewtwo. The giant bombs, as mentioned, you could also include toughness cloak, so your Vikavolts are a little bit more tanky. But I'm a bigger fan of using 3 copies of giant bombs, so you always have that card. And lots of attackers think about Eternus VMAX can will probably hit the huge numbers. Same goes for the Senses cards, hitting huge numbers, so Giant Bomb will be live most of the time. Same goes for Zacian, so even if they knock you out, they get 10 damage, and they will still need to get energies to get to their one-hit KO attack anyhow. So as soon as you know, like, oh, my Vikavolt is going down at one point, get that Giant Bomb equipped. Then Reset Stamp, very nice if like Vikavolt gets knocked out, another Pokemon, and then another Vikavolt. Let's say the opponent is at 1 prize card or 2 prize cards. Using Reset Stamp and item locking also wins games, mark my words. And then, as mentioned, Wondrous Labyrinth to put the opponent in a disadvantage, because if they're not playing Fairy types, which they probably won't, they will need to pay an extra cardless energy to attack. This also affects us, but you only smack this down when you are ready. Then 3 copies of the Speed Lightning Energy, providing us with extra draw power. 1 copy of the Capture Energy. I would love to add in a second copy, couldn't find the room for it. But the Capture Energy combo is nice. Typically, if you start with Jirachi, it's fine. Then you can just use Vikavolt, slap it on the bench, give it a Capture Energy because it does require cardless energies. And that means you can search out your Tapu, Koko, Prism Star instantly, then smack down a Research, and you're gonna be good to go if you can get a Lightning Energy in the discard pile. And talking about Lightning Energies, there's 8 of them in here because we need them in the discard pile as quickly as possible so we can spam Turbo Patch or use Tapu, Koko, Prism Star. Let me know what you think about Vikavolt V. Will you try out this nasty item locking deck for yourself? Do you think it is not as good as people claim it to be because we lose Electro Power and Thunder Mountain? Me personally, after testing, this is such an annoying deck. You never want to be playing against this. Also, let's say I'm a Baby Blonde player. I'm playing Blade Ball Cephalon. You cannot use your energy spinners. You cannot use fire crystals. You're gonna be stuck in the active with Jirachi most of the time because you only rely on switch and scoop up nets. The only way you can get out of that nasty scenario is either you attach and retreat your Jirachi, which is not always a good thing, or you use things like Mallow and Lana. Maybe people are gonna try and play that because we're probably gonna be in a 2-shot meta, except for Eternus VMAX, which can sometimes squeeze out a 1-shot. But this is a very fantastic deck. Try it out for yourself. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to demolish the like button, subscribe for more content, and I will see you guys in the next video very, very shortly. Thanks again for watching. Peace out.